Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today we're going to talk about reprogramming our subconscious mind and how that works. So, if you've ever wondered, why am I always in the same negative pattern? I'm always thinking about the same negative things, the same negative symptoms, all of the same negative worries I have about the symptoms, my chronic illness, why I can't get better, etc., etc. We need to break patterns and to reprogram our mind. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how many times a day are you looking at the negative aspect of your situation, of your illness, of your symptoms, of your suffering, of your pain? How many times a day do you think, oh my God, you see the negative? So something happens, and we're programmed this way too, but we look for the negative rather than the positive. And I know there's not a lot of positive in chronic illness, but sometimes we don't focus on the positive. If we've had a better day or some relief, we're not looking at that and being proud of that and being happy for that and feeling grateful for that and counting our blessings for that positive day or the fact that we've gotten even 5% better or whatever it is. As soon as we have a bad day, we're right back in the negative, and we're just looking I'm never going to heal. Look at this, all these symptoms, whatever. So you're programmed to look at the negative more than you are the positive. And that's just natural. That's just life. But when these bad days slip in and it overtakes us, oh my God, I'm so sick, I'm never going to heal, I'm never going to get better, my symptoms are raging, they're out of control, we really focus on that. I mean, we can really get, right? We can really, really get down on ourselves and get feeling we're never ever going to heal. But on the positive days, do you do the same thing? Do you are you oh my God, my symptoms are so great, I'm totally going to heal, I'm going to be healed, I'm on my way to being healed, I'm so close to being healed, there's no way I'm ever not going to heal? I mean, because when you do it on your negative days and you say, I'm never ever going to heal, there's no way I can heal, look at all my symptoms. When you get relief, when you have a positive day, when things are better, do you say to yourself, look at this, I'm healed, I'm going to heal, I'm going to be better, I'm on my way, things are great, look at all of this? Do you relish in the positivity and really focus on that? Because sometimes when we're having a good day, we can still be negative and say oh, it's going to come back tomorrow, it's all going to come rushing in, and still focus on the negative. So there's two ways to view your life. You can view it through the negative, or you can view it through the positive. And everyone knows that. But when it comes to illness, we're yeah, but it's illness, it's symptoms, it's disease, it's pain, it's suffering. So I cannot find the positive in it. And I'm asking you to find the positive in it. Meaning every time we have a good day, we are on top of how good this is, how amazing this is, how close to healing we are, how, we are really all over this. And then on our bad days, we say, but yesterday we had a good day, or a few days ago we were feeling great. We have to get stuck on the positive, okay? It doesn't mean we ignore what's happening, and it doesn't mean we abandon our own feelings or look away from our emotions. But we don't get caught up in this negative, self-fulfilling brain chatter, this negative thinking, right? That's the pattern that we want. So if the first thing is to amplify the positive instead of the negative, meaning we're going to focus everything that we can on those good days, isn't this amazing? I'm close to being healed. I'm almost there. I'm getting there. This is amazing. And we're going to amplify the positive days, the positive times we have no symptoms. We're going to amplify this message even when we're having bad days and when we're having negative days. So that's number one, is to amplify the positive by focusing on it, because it is so easy to get into that negative mindset and think everything is always doom and gloom. There's always a positive side to it, and we have to find it and amplify it. Okay, so number two is visualization. So when you're visualizing, law of attraction type visualizations, you're I'm healthy, I'm healed, I have this healthy body, I don't have symptoms anymore. A lot of times what we visualize is things that we don't want anymore. So if we're sick, we say, I'm healed. Or if we have pain, we say, I have no pain, right? Which is good. Like, that's why those visualizations don't work, because we're just taking the opposite of what we have and saying it, and we don't believe it, because it's very hard to believe that you're healed, or that you're out of pain, or you're pain-free, or whatever. It's very hard to believe that visualization message when you have symptoms going off, right? Like sirens. So what we want to do is we still want to use visualization because it is a powerful, powerful technique. So one of the things that you have to do is figure out why you want to be healed. Why do I want to be healed? Like, what is the bigger life picture? What is the purpose in my life? Like, who is this going to be amazing for? You know, my son, my daughter, my family members. You know, I can have a career and give this back, not just to make money, not just to be a mom, but what kind of a mom do you want to be? You want to be able to be, you know, a hands-on mom, somebody who can volunteer and get involved and do all these things. Or maybe you want a career that has a purpose, that gives back. You can give your message to the world. You can do something that has an impact, right? And a purpose. So when we start to visualize, when we start to really understand, first of all, what our purpose is, what the purpose is that is going to give our life meaning, right? That's going to make us feel like it was all worth it. So it's like the end, you know, it's that reward. It's like that, what you're going to get out of it, the meaning behind it, the deeper thing that you're going to do. And that's what you want to visualize on. So not just I'm healthy, I'm healed, I have no pain, I have no symptoms. That's all well and great, but that's not going to work. You want to visualize the scene where you're with your son and daughter and you're being the kind of mom. You really want to feel it. Try to feel the emotions that come along with that. And like you're doing something for them. You're teaching something to them. You're playing with them. You're getting involved. Maybe you're going on a class field trip. You're totally immersed. You're like the best mom, and your child is just wrapped up in you, laughing and saying you're the best mom in the whole world. And you know, or maybe you visualize your child getting married and you're there, and you know, you're holding your grandkids. You want to visualize something that you're giving to this person. Maybe it's your spouse. What are you giving to them? What does it mean? What's the meaning? Where's the fulfillment, right? Where does that fulfillment come from? Just like in your career, well, maybe you want to write a book about this, or an experience, or maybe you want to be able to do something and you need to be healed in order to do it, so that you can give your talent to the world. You can give your message to the world. You can do something that's going to be super fulfilling and leave a mark in this world. And that's what you visualize. Like when you're at work and you're making money and you're powerful and you have all these things and you're able to just be vibrant and be powerful and be in control, but you're doing something that's super fulfilling and something that's meaningful. It has meaning, and it's like, it's so worthwhile. And that's what we want to visualize, that bigger, broader fulfillment, worthwhile, like the purpose, the meaning. That's what we're really trying to visualize, and we're trying to imagine how that will feel to be able to have that purpose in the world, to be able to have that meaning derived from it, to be able to, you know, feel so fulfilled and like you're living your purpose. That's the feeling that you're trying to create with visualization. So you're not just saying I'm healthy, because you can't feel that. You can't feel that health when you have symptoms, but like, I'm going towards health because I'm going to be the best mom ever, or I'm going towards this health. My body is getting healthy every day so that I can give my message to the world, so that I can be the kind of wife that I've always wanted to be, or so that I can get out there and do what I've always meant to give in this world. I can be who I came here to be. That's what we're looking for. So visualize is number 2, and it's important that we look at the bigger visualization and really focus on meaning and fulfillment and purpose and how you're gonna feel in that larger grand scheme of things. All right, let's talk about step 3. So step 3 works when you program your mind, like the subconscious mind, by getting down into theta, you know, like as you sleep,
you're basically getting down into a different state of consciousness, right? And, you know, since all the programs in your mind were set before you were 7, you now have to relearn new programs, right? So you've been set you've sort of already decided how to handle adversity in your life. That was set as a child, like how to handle adversity, how to handle when things don't go well, how to handle when you're not feeling well, right? So even though you didn't have this chronic illness as a child, you were still sometimes sick. And however you were programmed to react, right? Did you feel sorry for yourself? Did you want to get attention? Did your parents give you attention? Did they give you love when you were sick? Did you get something from being sick? Like, did you just focus on the bad? Like, oh no, like, why is this happening to me? Were you a victim? I mean, what exactly, were you empowered when you were sick, or were you kind of a victim when you were sick? Whatever was set into motion back then is just living itself out. I mean, you obviously didn't have that chronic illness, but the patterns that you learned as a child replay as an adult, and they just replay in the background without you even thinking about it. So they're just going off in your subconscious mind. So now, if we want to reprogram that, we're adults now with chronic illnesses. So the only way you can really do that is right before sleep. And right before sleep, you sort of go into this wonderful state, and right before you wake up, you're in that state. And it's just before the sleep state, when you're kind of like dreaming and you're waking from sleep to being awake, and there's that like a really relaxed period, and that's where you learn best. That's where you learn to reprogram best. That's when you can kind of make these changes. So during that time, you want to only think positive things. You want to tell yourself the right messages. And if you are the type of person who before bed worries all the way until you're falling asleep, like as soon as you lie down until you drift off, and then as soon as you kind of open up your eyes, you already start to get into negative, like, oh, it's going to be a bad day. I can feel these symptoms. Like if that is you, then you need help to reprogram that, because that will keep you sick and stuck, and you're just reinforcing your programs. So you might even have to get a recording. There's tons on YouTube, reprogramming your subconscious mind with positive healing affirmations. And you want to play it at night as soon as you lay down in bed, as you're drifting off to sleep. And then as soon as you notice yourself waking up, just press play. Because if you can't do this consciously by yourself, like break that pattern of, because that's where you're setting in new patterns. That's where you can set in the programming for your mind, like thinking about, you know, positively and about your future and about how great it's going to be. So those are the times of day that are best suited for you, or in meditation. So if you do set aside any time of day to meditate or go for a walk or be super quiet, and you're sort of getting yourself down into that state, it's also a good time that you can do programming. You can do guided programming, or you can talk to yourself differently, right? You can start to imagine your fulfilled life, like your purpose here on this earth. And when you get healed, you're going to be able to fulfill your purpose. And that's the feeling that you want to wash over you during those times. So times are really specific and important, and you want to do this at least once a day, maybe twice a day. So you have upon waking, you have right before going to bed, you have during meditation, deep meditation, you have even during just like a relaxed period of your day where you're just quiet and you're going for walks, or you're like settling in. If you start to worry and the monkey mind starts to go during those times of settling in, right, then you're not doing yourself any favors, because these are the times that we have to use at our disposal to get the most out of it. Because you're not just going to be going to hypnosis sessions, you know, all day long. Although that's another tool that you could use. You could do hypnosis, because and then reprogram while you're in there, right? You want to reprogram with messages of positivity and messages of hope and messages of healing and health. And there's tons on there. There's so many guided visualizations and guided affirmation programs. Just put in like healing affirmations, or healing visualization or healthy life, happy, healthy life visualizations or affirmations, and just we want to reprogram yourself. Or you just use your own mind and your own self to visualize your empowered future, to visualize yourself healed, and let that work. You can do that work then. So that's really important. That's step number 3. Okay, so let's talk about number 4. So this is where we want to practice. Repetition is important, right? Like creating any new habit is so important. Just like if you want to be a walker, you get up and you go for a walk every day and you just keep programming it into your subconscious mind like that this is what I do. Here's the thing. When your mind says one thing and your body's saying something else, when you have a chronic illness and you have symptoms all day, but your mind always says, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, eventually your body has no choice but to be healthy. Because your brain always looks to, it always looks, so that's a subconscious. Like if you really believed you were healthy in a subconscious level and you were constantly telling yourself that and your subconscious truly believed that, your programming looks to find coherence. It looks to become one. Okay, so it looks to bring reality and thoughts and subconscious thoughts together. That's what it does. So it's looking for a way to find coherence that it can program. The problem is you often program in the wrong thing, right? Because you don't always say to yourself, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. In fact, more often than not, people with chronic illness constantly say, I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, right? And even if you have time during the day where you like repeat affirmations or you believe that you're healthy and you believe it and you program yourself upon morning and night and during meditation, if you're not coherent the rest of the time during the day and those negative subconscious messages slip through, like I'm never gonna heal, I'm not feeling well, this is terrible, I'm sick, I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, I don't feel well, this is never gonna go away. If those messages are there the majority of the time, right, running in this subconscious in the background, no matter how much work you do upon waking, upon going to sleep, during meditation, like the repetition is happening at a subconscious level on the negative side. It's happening and it's saying, I don't feel good, I don't feel well. So every time you like hear yourself say that, you've got to catch yourself and you've got to replace it right away. And it's not so that you replace it so that you believe it, because oftentimes if you say like, I'm healthy when you're having symptoms, you're not healthy, like you know it. But you're not really doing it for you. You're doing it for your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind needs to get on board so that every day when you're not thinking about it, it starts saying those messages to itself. Right? And that's habit and that's practice over time. Just like anything, you build a habit by repeating, practicing, repeating over and over. That's how you learn the English language. You just practice, repeat. It's how you learn any skill. You practice, repeat over and over until your mind just knows how to do it. That's how you practice riding a bike. You practice, and then repeat, and suddenly you never forget how to ride a bike. Your brain just does it. But what's happening with you is you're like programming it at certain times. You're thinking it at certain times, certain hours, certain times of the day. You're remembering often enough to make a difference, but not enough to change a pattern. So the rest of the time, your subconscious mind is saying crap things to yourself. It is talking illness talk, not healing talk. So we have to take advantage of the times that we can become aware and be conscious of, the waking up, the going to sleep, the meditation, the quiet time, any other time that we catch ourselves thinking and we become aware, then we can change it. But it's when we're not aware, we're unconscious, we're subconscious, it's just playing in the background. So we really have to use our muscle to practice and repeat. So that's number 4, is practicing and repeating. And that's like even if you can't believe it, you have to keep saying it. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep living your life like you're healed every day. You have to get up and live a life as if you are healed, even if you're not. Because if you don't, your mind says she doesn't believe it. She's not going to heal. She doesn't believe it. All she believes is that she feels crap. She's never going to go anywhere. There's no point. She might as well not do it. You have to keep telling your mind over and over by what you say, by what you do, and by what you think that you can do it, that you are healed, that you are not sick. Okay. So it's a practice. So never forget that every day, even if you're not healed, you're practicing. Every day is like a practice. It's like you're getting up and you're practicing for the big event, and just keep practicing. It could take, depending on how deep your subconscious mind is, it could take you a month, it could take you a year, it could take you several years. But if you practice consistently every day, your body will have no choice but to follow suit at some point with what your mind is doing and what your mind is saying, because that's how it works. All right, there's many ways to reprogram your mind and your subconscious, but we're only going to do a handful today, so I want to talk about another one. And basically, when your conscious mind is saying to yourself, I'm sick, right? And you decide to change that conscious mind by saying, I'm healthy. I'm now a healthy person. I'm healthy. That's really a conscious thought, not a subconscious thought. So every time that you put that thought in your head, I'm healthy, I'm healed, I'm healing, I'm healthy, it's a conscious thought that you're putting in, which is good because conscious thoughts go to the subconscious. But if your subconscious mind is a very stubborn mind, a lot of people have very stubborn subconscious minds, it will immediately fight the conscious mind. So if you resonate with this, then your subconscious mind will probably say, no, you're not, you're sick. If you say, I'm healthy, it will say, no, you're not, you are in pain, you're suffering. You know, if you say, I'm going to be healed, it says, no, you're not, you've been trying and it's not working. So if you have an active subconscious mind that basically picks fights with your conscious mind, then you even have a harder job to do. Because when you're consciously putting in the effort to put in good thoughts and good thoughts of healing, and that you will be healed, and that you are healed, that you're no longer sick, and that you have a life of purpose and meaning. And when you're putting those thoughts consciously, now remember, those aren't subconscious thoughts, those are conscious thoughts that you're putting in. They're conscious thoughts in your mind, and we practice them and repeat them enough that eventually they become subconscious. But when you have a subconscious mind that sabotages you, it sabotages yourself. It's basically not because it's a jerk subconscious mind, not because you're just a negative person and you don't want it. It's because you want it so badly that your subconscious mind is afraid to believe. It's afraid if it doesn't work out. So it's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to protect you from further hurt and further sorrow and further, hope crushing, because that's so hard. So it argues with the conscious mind. And if you have a mind like that, then no matter how many programs you listen to, even before you're going to bed, the guided visualizations and affirmations, and when you wake up, and you will have a mind that argues. So you actually literally need to talk to yourself during those times enough that it becomes like what your subconscious hears during those times. So one of the things that you can do is you can record your own voice. Using your name, I think, is really powerful. Like, Lisa, I am healed. Lisa, you are healing. So don't ever think that you're not. Like, you can do this. You are totally 100% healed, and you're gonna live a life of meaning and be an amazing mother, an amazing wife. You're gonna be fit and active. You have so much ahead of you, so many wonderful trips and careers. You have a purpose in this world. Your purpose is to this. So you need to speak to yourself in a voice that you believe, in a voice that is real. So you normally record this when you're having a good day or when you feel super powerful. You record your own voice telling yourself all the things that you want your subconscious to know. All the right messages, okay? You record it, and you record it with music in the background. Classical works best. So some classical music is it just changes the pattern in your brain, okay? Or you can do it with brainwave entrainment, right? Like with theta in the background or whatever it is, binaural beats in the background. Whatever will help you get into that state is a good thing. And then you want to play this to yourself during those times, like when you wake up, during meditation, when you go to sleep, if you're having a particularly bad day, if you need some reassurance, if you're falling back into these subconscious patterns. It's like repetition, right? It's almost like you're trying to learn a new language. You basically have to eat, sleep, and breathe that language. You're going to have to read it. You're going to have to listen to it. You're going to have to write it. You're going to have to be listening to it constantly, right? In the car, in the background, when you're doing dishes, like all the time, so that it gets into your subconscious mind, and then you eventually speak that language. So I find if you record it yourself, I know it's a lot of work, and if you get that music or the beats in the background, and then you literally have to play it and practice it and pretend you're learning a new language, and the new language is the language of healing. This is the language, okay? You're not learning French, you're not learning Spanish, you're learning healing. And so you have to basically just repeat it everywhere you go, practice it, and then repeat it and try it out as often as you can, okay? Because you are literally learning a new language here. And if you have a mind that sabotages you, a subconscious that sabotages you and just is so afraid to hear any positive messaging around it because it wants to keep you safe and protected, then you really need to speak directly to it, using your name, using your voice, right, in something powerful from your heart, your soul, right to yourself. And that's will even get through more than anything guided will. Okay, and the last one that we're going to work on in this video, and we will do more of these, by the way, but one of the next things that I want you to do, and the thing that I really want you to try, is sometimes it's difficult to plan too far ahead, right? Like we think about this amazing future that we want and all the reasons we want, and we give it meaning, and we, are reprogramming our future basically. But sometimes we need to break it down into bite-sized pieces. And so that starts with just programming the day ahead. Okay, just focusing on one day at a time. So how do we reprogram our subconscious mind? By just going day at a time. Sometimes that's all you can do. So at night, as you're falling asleep, another technique that you can use is you're going to plan the next day ahead, or you can do this like during your waking hour. You can take a few minutes to write it down. Plan what you're going to do in advance of the day. So what are healthy things that you can eat? Write it down. What is going to be your breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Write it down so that you don't stray from it. If you only think it, you won't do it. You have to write it down. Next, what are the wonderful activities you're going to do that day? What are you going to focus your mind on? What healthy activity can get you closer to the future that you want? Are you going to start creating your business today? Are you going to start researching a trip that you've always wanted to take? Are you going to play with your children? Are you going to do something great for yourself? Like, think about things that you can do for your day that not only take care of what you need to do that day, but that actually are creating the future that you want. So do things during that day. Like if you're going for your walk, you're doing your meditation, like it's towards your future. It's for something that you want. It's beginning to, set a goal and move forward towards it. So write down all the things that you're going to do that day and make sure that they're not just nonsense things. Make sure that they're not just fillers or distractions or things that you have to do or should do or you hate doing, but you've got to do them. Make sure that you have a lot of things on your list in that day that are moving you toward the life that you want, the healthy, healed life that you want. So when you do these things, when you write down what you're going to do, like I'm going to go for my walk, I'm going to do my meditation, I'm going to, listen to the subconscious programming or this guided affirmations, I'm going to do A, B, and C towards a hobby or a goal or a future goal that I have. You're going to do those. You're going to do, some things that you need to get done in the day, but it's for a purpose. It's for the purpose. Everything's for the purpose of being healthy and healed. So we're going to just do that, okay? We're going to focus on the day, and then we're going to get up and just do those things. Now you see what you're eating, you see what you're thinking, you're reminding yourself what you want to do that's moving you towards your goal. And then at night, before you go to bed, you're going to review your day. Did you eat what you say you were going to do? Did you do what you say you were going to do? What went well? What didn't go well? What sidetracked you? What emotions, what thoughts brought you down, right? What thoughts propelled you forward? What emotions propelled you forward? What activities propelled you forward? What activities brought you down? What people propelled you forward? What people brought you down? So we want to kind of keep an inventory, a working list, and like actually review your day. What helped you create the future that you want? What got you closer, in all areas of your life to living your dream life? What actually worked, and what areas do you need work in? Like, what relationships are pulling you back? What thoughts, emotions, feelings are pulling you back? What bad habits are pulling you back? What is it that is not allowing you to do what you said you were going to do on that list? And if you did do everything, then congratulate yourself. You got one step closer. So that's just an action-oriented, very small thing that you can do, is fill your day up with the kinds of healthy, healed thoughts, activities, people, events, hobbies, things that you want to do and that you will be doing as you're healed, and just like do those, even if you're sick, even if you're not feeling well, even if you're suffering, even if you're whatever. And remember, we're programming our mind, and we're programming our subconscious mind to think certain thoughts and to be a certain person and to have like a certain life, so that your body responds. Your body that's sick right now and your body that's not healed right now will eventually respond to the thoughts and the actions that you're doing, and say, like, I've got to make this coherent. I've got to make this match, because your body looks, your mind and everything, your biology looks for a way to match what's in your mind and what's happening. So you've got to work at this every day, with thoughts, with emotions, with things that you're thinking, with things that you're doing, your actions. Like, everything has to be coherent. And eventually, your body and mind are going to catch up, and they're going to become coherent. They're going to become one. And if all your programming is for health and healing, then that's the way it's going to go. If your subconscious mind is dragging you down into sickness and suffering, that's the way it's going to go. So we need to change this. We need to break the patterns. So I hope this video has been helpful, and we'll do more of this, because it's a really important, because our conscious thinking only takes up like 5-10% of the day. Even all the work you're doing consciously is not enough. We need our subconscious mind to get on board. So we really need to train it, retrain it, reprogram it, rewire it, do things that, so it's working for us when we're not conscious, right? So I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.